1922. Driven by rapidly expanding and radically changing uses of radio, a fitful and frustrating process of legislative and regulatory proposals and counterproposals was just beginning and would continue for a decade or more before it would begin to stabilize. As spring arrived in 1922, new broadcasting stations packed the air with signals as growing crowds of listeners in the general public clamored for even more. 10 years had brought changes unimaginable in 1912 when the first radio law was enacted. Now woefully inadequate, it urgently needed to be rewritten or replaced. That task fell to Secretary of Commerce Herbert Hoover, who convened the first radio conference, which included radio luminaries from across the spectrum: government, industry, academia, and the amateurs. The conference and its governing commission concluded by recommending 22 wavelength allocations. These would form the foundation for new legislation to finally replace the outdated law. Among the 22, amateurs were assigned a band from 275 to 150 meters, divided into subbands for spark, modulated CW, phone, and straight CW in that order, from long to short wavelengths. The portion from 275 to 200 meters would be shared with educational establishments. To avoid overcrowding in each geographical region, the Commission also prescribed a list of practices to be followed when assigning wavelengths to individual stations within each radio service. Dividing lines between services were still not sharply defined. For example, the conference explicitly proposed that amateur broadcasting again be allowed, reversing its previous position, and it recommended that direct advertising by radio be absolutely prohibited, either ignoring or attempting to counter the inexorable pursuit of commercial opportunities in broadcasting. In early June, the legislative process began again, with bills introduced in the Senate Committee on Interstate Commerce by Minnesota Senator Frank Kellogg as S. 3694, and the next day in the House Committee on the Merchant Marine and Fisheries by Congressman Wallace H. White of Maine, who had also been a member of Hoover's Conference Commission. Following the conference's recommendation, the bills would amend the 1912 law rather than replace it. Commerce's main purpose was to expand the wavelengths available to broadcasters and define a regulatory mechanism for all services.